from Rockhill, Ballinamore Bridge, Ballygar, lifelong supporter, St Brendan's GA and a Galway supporter. Great man, served his club with great distinction as a player, coach, fundraiser and club officer, and he also served a term of Custa Pelnanog na Galway. On behalf of everybody in the Sunday Game and RT Sport, we pass on our deepest sympathies to Matt Noon's family.
Please remain standing for all the days today by the Castlereagh Brass and Reed Band.
Castlereagh Pipe and Reed Band now going to play our national anthem. The provincial championship is so important here in Connacht. It was first played in 1888, that's 138 years ago. Galway's first provincial title was in 1900. Roscommon was in 1892. And their last two titles was in 2017 and 2019, came about on both occasions by beating Galway. So this provincial final laced with history. Sean Herson from County Tyrone, an Ulsterman, is in charge, and we're looking forward to a really good game of football. It's Galway against Roscommon in Dr. Hyde Park. Roscommon clearly winning that toss as we discussed and going into the attack immediately. Going forward, Enda Smith, German Murtagh. They want to start brightly, the home side. Back far is Dylan Ruane. Keith Doyle, far as Senan Lambe from Roscommon Gales from here to town. Waiting for this own McCormack. St. Dominic's, not Crockery. Darragh Heneghan. Cutting inside, makes an angle for himself. And Darragh Heneghan, his shot comes back off the post. And Galway react the fastest. The crowd in front of us here were on their feet. They thought it was over the bar. Darragh Heneghan very unlucky. John Maher starts to move for Galway. Over for his Cain D'Arcy. That's a great ball. Roscommon looking a little bit exposed here. Rob Finnerty, after 1 minute and 7 seconds. A wonderful counter-attack. Ball hitting off the post down at the town end. Galway worked it up to the graveyard end. Long ball worked splendidly. Look at the finish here from Finnerty. Smacked it home.
What a start by Galway. Ryan Roach making his presence felt already. Beautiful ball in from Cain D'Arcy. Floated it in high. Brilliant patch by Ryan Roach. Making use. Patrick Gavin and just stepped in front, left the space in behind, but what a finish from Finnerty.
First goal of the championship for Rob Finnerty. Scored 4 points against Leitrim. And of course he was an all-star footballer 2 years ago. It's a huge setback to Roscommon. Can they counter-attack now? Making an angle. Difficult angle. And that is a beautiful point and a great response.
Brilliant response. What a start. Like that Galway goal came from an off the post, from a brilliant Roscommon attack where it came back off the post, worked it up the pitch, lightning pace, put it in the net. But yeah, what a fetch by Roach. Great start, sensible. And as cool a finish as you'd expect from that man.
But the marking by Roscommon was very poor. The long ball didn't work.
No, absolutely. Patrick Gavin had just stepped off in front, but it was Cain D'Arcy taking the gamble and putting it in.
Enda Smith getting it back far as Ronan Daly. Patrick Gavin played against Offaly in the 2021 All-Ireland Under-20 final. Many of those footballers coming through the underage ranks, now fully fledged senior stars. Owen Ward. Keith Doyle. moving forward into Galway territory. Enda Smith, 31 years of age, slipping one through nicely. He's gone for the return pass. Working hard is Colm Neary. He's getting around. That's a great run. Galway look a little bit stretched. Great skill by Roscommon. Here comes the shot. The ball is wide. But there was a sense of danger there that Roscommon could actually expose this Galway defence just for a moment there.
Yeah, just even in the attitude, like they are taking on their men. They're being very aggressive in how they attack Colm Neary there. The normal thing we would see so often would be a sort of a pass out round. He turned and went out without a second doubt. So certainly Roscommon, plenty of intent about them in these early phases.
Kick out from Conor Flaherty, gathered by John Marr. Finnerty, Paul Conroy. Switching the play. Good ball over towards Cillian McDade. 3 All-Stars, one after the other there from 2024. Johnny McGrath to Paul Conroy. Galway happy to play just outside the Roscommon 45-metre line now. Dylan McHugh. Rob Finnerty. Options available to his left, including Seán Kelly and Paul Conroy. Kelly gone inside. You could play Seán Kelly anywhere. He might have number 3 in his back, but he could actually be centre forward as well. Roscommon stood firm. Go long, down towards Enda Smith. There was a push in the back, and there was also a breach. And Enda Smith just looking to see what the referee.
It was just as Enda Smith came across it to take the ball. It was one of those sort of incidental ones in play, so it's just a free from midfield then.
Dylan McHugh over towards Daniel O'Flaherty. Looking back outside. Has the support if he needs him of this man, Cian Darcy. Plays his club football with Ballyboden St Enda's to Cillian McDade. Monavea Abbey getting inside the cover. Great run by McDade. There was a deflection. Good defending by Ronan Daly, conceding a 45.
Smashing start to the game. Great intent from both sides again. Cillian McDade there trying to get in tight. Second brilliant bit of defending from Roscommon. So yes, for the Galway goal they were open, but since then they've produced a couple of bits of brilliant defending. Shane Walsh will fancy his chances now at the wind.
Shane Walsh going to take this 45 with that curling breeze blowing behind his back from left to right. He's already won 6 Connacht Championship medals and an All-Ireland club. Formerly, of course, with Kieran Clonbur, now with Kilmacud Crooks for the last number of seasons. Hits it well. Straight in through. Rob Finnerty's goal separating the sides. Conor Carroll with the kick out for Roscommon. Going down the middle. Well anticipated by Daniel O'Flaherty. Sending it back. Quick ball up towards Rob Finnerty. That's a great point from a rather difficult angle. He's full of confidence. He has the swagger of a man who's already scored a goal in his Connacht Championship, but great anticipation by Galway to intercept the ball initially.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel O'Flaherty, Galway obviously really switched on. Conor Carroll's kicking out into the wind here, so it's a huge opportunity for Galway to put maximum pressure on.
Conor Carroll going long. Again, Galway doing well in the middle of the field at the moment. The referee has blown his whistle. I think there's a throw ball, I think. It's from the body language and the signals he's...
Sean Hershon has said it was a technical foul on the advantage, i.e. Galway were on an advantage at that stage. Then there was a throw ball by Paul Conroy, so he pulled it back to give it to the original advantage.
Shane Walsh cutting in and sending this outside the post and wide.
But yeah, Galway zonal on this kick out. We're all students of kick outs now, but Galway are very much zonal. The 4 across the inside, the end 3. But they've so many big men, and as Daniel O'Flaherty showed, they're alert. They're reacting really, really fast when this ball's in the air.
Conor Carroll, good fielding, trying to avoid the middle channels, spreading it out to the wing. It worked well that time at least. And Roscommon going to the attack with Dylan Ruane. Inside him if he needs him is Columneary. Good work by Dylan Ruane, vice captain of this Roscommon side. Roscommon happy to recycle it, backfires Ronan Daly. Youngest of the 3 Daly brothers, Niall and Conor, all played for Roscommon. They've contributed huge from the Porrick Pierce's club. Spreading the ball wide. Claims that there was a breach in front of us here as Keith Doyle cuts in and rather miscued that particular effort, but it also would indicate how strong that breeze is.
Yeah, just pulled it at the end, and he certainly hit it with enough power from a good position. Just didn't allow enough for it.
Second wide of the match for Roscommon after 9.5 minutes. Conor Flaherty goes short. Tall Conroy is unmarked momentarily. John Marr provides the support. Quick hands for Rob Finnerty. 1, 2, 3, and the umpires have a little look at each other. They're happy enough to signal that ball wide. It remains 1-2 for Galway, a point for Roscommon.
Wide, and again he sort of done what has probably will in time become a mortal sin, where he was about 1 foot inside the large arc, so he was taking a one-pointed shot from one of the tougher positions on the pitch, but with that wind I suppose, and with his form, he can back himself.
Changing the direction of his kick out this time is Conor Carroll. Breaking ball, picked up by Senan Lambe. Scored twice against 2 points against New York in a wonderful effort, a 2-pointer. Back outside from Columneary. Enda Smith. Dylan Ruane. Trying down that far over side. Dylan Ruane again orchestrating affairs. Keith Doyle. His dad was a wonderful footballer, Willie, for Carlow and Leinster. Very proud of his son now, of course, playing for Roscommon. Enda Smith laying it off as Darragh Heneghan. Desperately unlucky that his first effort hit off the post. Chasing after him is the opposite number 12, Cian D'Arcy. Enda Smith. Happy to recycle it back out towards the midfield area. Dylan Ruane. Nice little 1-2. Referee has blown his whistle. It's given a free to Roscommon.
Yeah, Roscommon will be delighted with that phase of play. Really composed in possession. You just see it here. Sean Hersham was saying not shoulder to shoulder, and on looking at that, he got it absolutely spot on. But great play by Roscommon, playing against the wind, holding possession, being patient, switched it out of that side, got a run, won the free.
Diarmuid Murtagh has been on the form of his inter-county career, scoring a goal and 10 points against Mayo, and he puts his name on the score sheet here on Connacht final day in the Hyde.
Roscommon much more man-to-man in terms of these kickouts. Last time he got it one way short by one of the Roscommon players moving early to midfield, and he picked it off short. This time it's long.
Diarmuid Murtagh's point 9 minutes after Roscommon had scored. So there was quite a gap as they were under pressure. Free for Galway. Dylan McHugh giving it back to Kieran Molloy. 2 Curvin boys. Paul Conroy. Killian McDade. Enda Smith defending. Backfires the Galway captain John Marr. McDade takes control, passing to Roscommon 45. Robert Finnerty, back to John Maher. Daniel O'Flaherty. Good pace, good balance. The shot is dropping in, and the shot is gone wide. Third wide in the match for Galway.
Yeah, you can see, I mentioned at the start that far side is probably the best opportunity for two-pointers from both Seán Walsh and Paul Conroy, both men that would have that firmly in their arsenal. Was stationed out on that side this time, and the chance fell to Paul Conroy, just narrowly wide.
Conor Carroll going short this time. Farzenda Smith. Eoin McCormack. Colm Neary is right beside him along the sideline. This is Neary. Little shimmy creating the space. Cian D'Arcy in hot pursuit. Roscommon growing in confidence as the game progresses. Darragh Heneghan looking to see who's making that incisive run. The run comes now from the three inside players. Nice ball outside for us, Keith Doyle. Back again for us, Colm Neary. Questioned that particular hand pass, to be honest with you, but got away with it. Back for Farzenda Smith from Boyle. Going for a little 1-2 here with Neary. Back outside again. Far as Dylan Ruane. Cutting around the far over side, pulls the brakes. Need a little bit of support now. Nobody immediately available except Conor Ryan. One-two was not on. Good work by John Maher. Leading by example, the Galway captain. Cillian McDade. Shane Walsh. Willing to take on the Roscommon defence. And every opportunity. Cillian McDade again. Shane Walsh. Recycling it back out to midfield, Paul Conroy. Going for the score. Going for the point. Is it inside? It is. Fabulous point. For the Footballer of the Year 2024.
Huge effort, well outside the 45, I think he was when he struck it. But all about that turnover.
Fantastic.
Some effort.
Roscommon worked the ball out again for the midfield area. Keith Doyle looking for a bit of support. Galway working hard, putting in the tackles. Over for us, Colm Neary. Cian D'Arcy with him. Enda Smith now. Enda Smith getting away. Three Galway footballers chasing after him. Still Smith trying to get a chance to pull the trigger, but good defending by Galway. Molloy comes charging out. Over for his Ryan Roach. Cut that high ball after a minute and laid it off to Rob Finnerty. Doing well, championship debutant. Coming through the centre is Dylan McHugh. Shane Walsh. Always composed. Over towards Cian D'Arcy. Rob Finnerty. Cian D'Arcy. Great play by Galway.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Brilliant, the last 3 points, the two-pointer and that there one all came from a turnover ball in the defence. The last couple of attacks, Galway had really started to push up much more on Roscommon. Stopped that sort of keep ball that Roscommon had got the last couple of shots off. So doing exactly what they need to do whenever they have got the advantage of the wind, not giving Roscommon time in the ball. And that's a rich harvest. 3 points from the two attacks.
Breaking ball. Galway doing well in that midfield area. The long ball strategy from a Roscommon perspective not really working. Goes over for Shane Walsh. And Galway look very sharp. All coming from the kick out. Little combination, and Shane Walsh. Look at the way he curled that in. Beautiful.
Yeah, brilliant. Just starts to ratchet up. The Carroll kick-out has been going relatively well. Both teams have been doing relatively well on their own kick-outs, and he got that one away well.
Eoin McCormack down for us, Colm Neary. Good running by Senan Lambe. Sending this in. Seemed to kiss the crossbar on its way, but it's over the bar. And Roscommon needed that because Galway certainly, every time they attack, they seem to be posing problems. 1-7 to 3 points.
Kick out taken too quick, or a man inside the zone by the looks of things. Yes, a man inside the D.
Diarmuid Murtagh getting the explanation from the referee, Seán Herson.
It's one of the most frustrating rules for me. I can't see why it's there even. I don't see there's no advantage to Galway having men inside the small D. But it's stopped anyway, and it's a perfect chance for Roscommon.
Once again, it's the Roscommon captain. Should be a simple tap over for the St. Paulius man. Roscommon get a little bit closer after 19 minutes.
And Seán Herson there was busy reminding Conor Flaherty they have to be outside the D.
Looking at the various options, Conor Flaherty has to go long. Breaking ball picked up by John Marr. Molloy over towards Shane Walsh, getting in on a lot of ball, causing problems for Patrick Gavin. Backtracks well. Ronan Daly comes across to lend assistance. The effort from Molloy is straight over the crossbar. Galway have found their rhythm, boosted by that early goal, but almost after 20 minutes it is now Galway 1-9, Roscommon 4 points.
Yeah, and there was a bit of debate at the start, but just how much of a win that is. We've seen Seán Walsh and Paul Conroy hit ones over from outside the 45, and there's Kieran Molloy. He can take his odd point, but he wouldn't be known as a 2-point shooter, and yet he backed himself there, so certainly the win is significant.
Owen McCormack, far as Darragh Heneghan. Gone inside is Caelim Keogh. There is the full back. Laid it off. Here's a chance. Oh, great save. Rebounds. Back in the net. Roscommon are back in the game. Robert Heneghan scored it.
And it's that pass there, the wee pop pass in front of the runner. It just about came off. But that suddenly, you just see the 3 Galway defenders there left for dead. O'Flaherty almost had done enough, but sharp in the rebound, Robert Heneghan.
The Heneghan cousins. Darragh had the shot, brilliantly saved by Conor Flaherty. Cousin Robert was there to tap it home. Scored a goal against New York in Gaelic Park in the Bronx. Second goal of the championship for the corner forward. And now Roscommon are putting in the physical challenges, beginning to believe again.
Brilliant
against
tackle
a very
there.
Strong wind.
Brilliant tackle from Diarmuid Murtagh there. They're all digging in right now. The crowd's up. The sense of wee moment just to get back into this game.
Colm to Conroy. Debutant in the championship this season. Darragh Heneghan getting inside, has a lovely sidestep. Far as Colm Neary back to Heneghan. There's a chance of goal. Fantastic! The Heneghans are tearing the Galway defence apart.
Just
although
brilliant.
Colm Neary was involved in this. Look at this. Darragh Heneghan set it up. Little 1-2. Back of the net. Goalkeeper Conor Flaherty had no chance.
Yeah, so opposite than a lot of teams. Rather than filling the penalty box, they only had one man inside. Everybody else was out round about the 45-yard line. Darragh Heneghan, he took it on himself. He broke the line. Colm Neary, brilliant direct play from Roscommon.
Great fielding by Paul Conroy as Galway now respond.
Oh, what a
that
game.
Shows class, absolute class. A 2-pointer by Paul Conroy. He's now on 3 points as we head towards the 23rd minute of this Connacht football final.
It's a phenomenal first 22 minutes here. Quality of scoring at each side has been phenomenal. Roscommon had really launched themselves back in with those 2 goals back to back.
Torrick Joyce having guided Galway to their 7th Connacht final in his managerial career. Conor Carroll goes short, down towards Caelim Keogh, under a little bit of pressure from Rob Finnerty. Free to the full-back. Solo and goal is part of our game now, and it puts Roscommon from a defensive position to an attacking one. Good ball from Ruane. Colm Neary is given a lot of space, cutting inside, good of a goal, gives it back to Ruane. Ruane at the inside of the boot, puts it over the bar for his first point in this Connacht final.
Roscommon, just as they did against Mayo, their A game is very much this running game. Whenever they're moving forward at pace through the middle third and they continue that momentum in up front, they're very, very hard to stop.
Kick out from Conor Flaherty, down for his Ryan Roach. Paul Conroy spreading it wide over towards Jack Lenn, captain of the Galway under-20 team that won in All-Ireland a few seasons ago. This ball is dropping outside the post and wide off the boot of Rob Finnerty. 4th wide of the match for Galway. Considering ended that they conceded a goal in the opening minute, Roscommon have shown a bit of character here, haven't they?
And again, you go to all those 2-pointers that Galway have hit, so overall the shot number from Galway is quite low.
Under a little bit of pressure there was Patrick Gavin, but he got away with it. Referee Sean Herson gives the decision to Roscommon, tearing away as Darragh Heneghan. Galway were protesting. Heneghan sends the ball inside. Opportunity. Here comes another, perhaps another goal, but it's over the bar.
Yeah, again, Roscommon, that intent. They're hitting those passes. The Galway crowd incensed about that decision down below us when they seem to have a Roscommon player in all sorts of difficulty. They got the benefit of the doubt, they got the free. Roscommon once again, obviously with Galway crowding in so much around that turnover, going all in for the turnover. Not getting it, they were open.
Kick out by Conor Flaherty. Fine fielding by Enda Smith.
Again, it's the waves of momentum that the modern game now brings. Roscommon are riding it at the minute.
Great ball inside. Opportunity for Keith Doyle. Put his name on the score sheet. Roscommon are showing a lot of character. The speed that they run at their opponents is really impressive.
Well, the Spence for several attacks that went more sort of keeping the ball, slowing it down, but whenever they do get a chance to go fast and they really back themselves, that youthful players they have out there, it's really standing to them at the minute.
1 point between the teams. Ball released, picked up on this occasion by Killian McDade. Backfires Rob Finnerty. Shane Walsh having a go. Is it on target? Umpires say no. 5th wide of the match for Galway.
I'd imagine Pádraig Joyce would have wanted a wee bit more composed play there, just try and settle the thing down. They'd only got the ball back in their hands, settle the thing down, try and work a simple score, get themselves back moving again.
Good kick out from Conor Carroll for his run in Daire. Patrick Gavin. Diarmuid Murtagh comes into his own half of the field to try and gather possession. Good work by Senan Lambe. Robert Heneghan on the overlap at speed.
Again, it's that speed. They are backing themselves to the absolute hilt. Coming through, running in at pace. It was an accidental probably click there of his own ankle. Just as it came across, wasn't much in it, but free it is.
All through the league, and the one factor for this Roscommon side was their running ability, and there's a lot of credit given to the strength and conditioning coach Mickey Comerford, who was formerly with the Kilkenny Hurlers. All around Roscommon they talk about him and what he's brought to the table in terms of speed. This one, however, the free taken will be a disappointment, because from that angle, even against the wind, you'd kind of bet on Diarmuid Murtagh to find a target. Galway survive. Johnny McGrath starts the movement down towards John Marr. Killian McDade providing the support, and Daniel O'Flaherty. Back out for Shane Walsh. Dylan McHugh. Gone inside is Killian McDade. Rob Finnerty. Looking around, he gets a little bit of space. McDade is still available, there he is. Happy to recycle it again. To Shane Walsh. Daniel O'Flaherty. Always there to support to Shane Walsh. Now O'Flaherty comes inside the 20, heading towards the 13, and that looks to be at the wrong side of the post and wide.
Yeah, brave groan from the supporters just in front of us here. Definitely, they could have done with that score. They'd worked a good chance. Shane Walsh's pass was excellent. Again, there's, I think, the 7th short Roscommon have got away. Park Joyce will be disappointed with that.
Eoin McCormack getting the short kick out from Conor Carroll. Now, of course, playing his club football with St. Bridget's. Away goes Senan Lambe. Great run. Great pressure. Full marks to Galway. They tracked him back. Kieran Molloy. Plenty of options available, maroon and white, over towards that far side. John Marr in the middle. Paul Conroy. Robert Finnerty. Ronan Daly is the centre half back, number 6. Back to Shane Walsh again. Kane Darcy. Dylan McHugh is along the sideline here. He's gone inside now. There he is at the top of your screen. Killian McDade waiting for the right ball. McHugh is the best option. Kane Darcy. 8 minutes since Galway last scored, and that effort is not going to curl enough. Ball is wide.
Yeah, you can see specific Roscommon attention on Paul Conroy, Shane Walsh, those long range shooters that Galway have. Galway need to try and shut down this Roscommon short that they've been getting away. Missed kick.
Missed kick by Conor Carroll. Shane Walsh, can he avail of the mistake? Trying to cut inside. Great recovery by Roscommon. They did well. John Marr takes on the responsibility. Dylan McHugh happy enough to take the point at the end of all that. Stretches Galway lead just a little bit to 2 points.
Yeah. Brilliant last gasp defending there by Roscommon. Stopped the Shane Walsh attack after the poor kick out.
The only mistake he's made, actually, if you want to call it a mistake, most of his kickouts have been going well for
Yeah,
Conor.
no, he's been excellent, particularly given the pressure that we knew Galway would be putting them under, particularly into the wind.
Caelim Keogh made his debut against New York. Sets up Eoin McCormack. Robert Heneghan staying close to the goals. Meanwhile, Enda Smith will control matters here. Senan Lambe is the best option right beside him. Again, Enda Smith indicating that it should go back to Ronan Daly. Owen Ward. And Fuerte, hurling area Roscommon in that league parish. Pass, not a great one. Good recovery on this occasion by Diarmuid Murtagh. Roscommon look sharp when they're running at the Galway defence. Senan Lambe has a great engine, 7 on 7. Liam Silk staying with him. Gone inside is indeed Senan Lambe. Darragh Heneghan makes an angle for himself, and Heneghan sends it over the bar. Beautiful score by the Michael Glavy's man.
Yeah, they're just creating mismatches, like, in what you call that a mismatch. Darragh Heneghan on Dylan McHugh, but today Roscommon is making it look like that, and it's the pace and the energy that they're bringing.
Kick out comes far as Daniel O'Flaherty. John Maher, his captain, is available. Just 1 point between the teams. Remember, Galway playing with wind advantage in this first half. They'll be disappointed as they're heading towards the break if that's all they have is a 1 point advantage.
Yeah, that's their 8th wide, and when you're looking at the scoreboard, yes, they're the point up, but we know how much of a factor the wind is. We know who Roscommon are hoping to be able to throw into this game. So you'd think at this stage, and I'm sure Galway feel it too, the advantage is still with Roscommon.
Owen McCormack back for his Ronan Daire. Lovely ball from Owen Ward, feeding Pat to Gavin. Rob Finnerty, 10 out of 10. Rob Finnerty giving it down for his right half forward Daniel O'Flaherty. Back into the centre, Shane Walsh makes himself available outside the Roscommon 45, wind assisted, drops it in. Oh, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. From out the field, no messing about, going long, great pressure. This was what created Rob Finnerty. Stuck to his task, tracked him back, and then it ended up with Shane Walsh. Great score.
Yeah, the 45 wasn't even on screen when he was shooting it. He was that far out. So, but again, that's only a reminder of what the wind is, and at this stage in the half and the scoreline reading it is.
Caelim Keogh. Over towards Patrick Gavin. Making the run inside is Enda Smith. Molloy pursues. Smith has the legs, the composure, the balance to give it back for his Columneary.
They'll be aiming to get the last shot of the half now. They'll be well aware of the clock. They'll be wanting to make sure it's last Roscommon play. If they're taking a shot at about 20 seconds or so or beyond it, they'll be happy.
Here's Ronan Daire, primary school teacher in Moat in County Westmeath, giving it to Keith Doyle. Ronan Daire. That was the first real wasteful ball by anybody from Roscommon, I would suggest, Enda.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to make sure they got the shot away before the hooter, which should be happening any second now. But yeah, plenty for both managers to get their teeth into at half time, but you'd have to think Mark Dowd's going to be the happier of the two.
They'll have wind advantage in the second half, the home side. They started poorly with a goal by Rob Finnerty right at the start of the game with that long ball. The ball that Darragh Heneghan hit off the post, and they counter-attacked. But Roscommon have shown great leadership, great character.
It's something that they launch as a platform, so we're in for a cracking second half here, Joanne.
If we get good as the first half, I tell you, we'll have some treat. So let's hope it goes down to the wire.
You're talking as if we're about to get that second half underway. It's only Roscommon who've come out so far. They are eager to go for that third quarter. What way do you see slight changes in approach from the two teams coming up now?
Like Roscommon have run a lot of the ball because the wind factor, like this half we mentioned, Murtagh has been relatively quiet, still has 4 points, but that 2 point option now all of a sudden for the likes themselves, and the Smiths, who's actually been quite quiet as well. I expect those two guys to really come into it. I expect the likes of Turney to come on.
I think I might have seen Finney O'Neill making his way onto the pitch.
So another really good sub to bring in, so there's a huge dynamic in this game, and as Cullum touched on and Brian, I think Galway will have a big running game in this half with that wind here as well.
Well, they've got plenty of men well able to run out there. We just can't wait for the second half to get underway, so let's head straight back to Enda and Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne, and like you, we are really looking forward to the second half with some wonderful skills and goals and points and talking points that we've seen. Porrick Joyce with his management team will be hoping that the tweaks that I'm sure he's instructed for the second half in terms of attitude and focus and concentration will be reflected in the performance. 3 points between the teams. Will it be Galway's 52nd provincial title or Roscommon's 25th? This time, this man, Roscommon manager Mark Dowd, has wind advantage to his side. At no time were they level in this game, but yet the conditions make it very intriguing.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul Conroy standing in corner forward, Joan Maher at wing half forward.
Change, we've just been told Fiannan O'Leary is on for Daniel O'Flaherty, and we'll get that confirmed in just a moment. So Galway go into the attack immediately. It's Dylan McHugh starting off, giving the ball for Shane Walsh. trying to get it back outside. Senan Lambe staying goal side. Dylan McHugh there to sweep it up. Kieran Molloy looking around. He had Seán Kelly to his immediate left, but decided to give it instead to Paul Conroy. Now this is Seán Kelly. Mike Cullen. Gone inside is John Maher. Still Seán Kelly coming in along the blind side and tapping that over the bar.
Yeah, good direct run by Seán Kelly again. John Maher cleared out and just left it as a 1-to-1, trusting his experienced teammate, and he made the right thing. Just drove in at the net. We'll call it doing the Armagh now. Simple fisted point.
Patrick Gavin. Good anticipation by Dylan McHugh. Cillian McDade taking on the challenge. Patrick Gavin putting in the hard physical work. Still McDade survives that. Shane Walsh is available to his left, but McDade goes a different route, and referee subsequently blows the whistle.
Yeah, brilliant interception by Dylan McHugh. He had a tough enough first half, but an experienced player like that you expect to get settled and still have a big impact in the game.
Paul Conroy giving it for Seán Kelly. Willing to go on that scenic route again and draw Roscommon out of their defensive zone. Back to Paul Conroy, 36 years of age. The end of the month, May 22nd, he'll be 37. And still producing the magic for his county and for his club. Shane Walsh, Cillian McDade. Roscommon blocking that particular pathway. He has to go back out to his captain, John Maher. Dylan McHugh. Owen Ward staying with him. Rob Finnerty. Back inside for Seán Kelly. Patient all the time. Kelly has gone inside. Paul Conroy turns around, shoots and sends it wide. At the end of all that, there'll be disappointment in the Galway camp. But they do have a 4-point advantage. 9th wide of the match for Galway.
Yeah, Galway are a vastly experienced team at this stage, so it won't faze them. Yes, they know the first half didn't go as well as they can, but as you pointed out, that 4-point lead is still there.
Ronan Daire ends up with Patrick Gavin. Daire again. Heard the call from Owen Ward. Debutant in New York. Scored a point. Diarmuid Murtagh. Nobody really making the space inside. Trying to get past the initial challenge. Provided on this occasion by Liam Silk. Dylan Ruane. And the Smith. Little flick. One chip. Still then. Getting inside the cover. And that's over the crossbar. 4-point lead, down to 3.
Yeah, great direct running by Enda Smith. My dad had probably almost ran out of road.
Kick out going to be taken by Conor Flaherty.
So that key second quarter of the first half, Roscommon were able to go short every single time.
Well gathered by Conor Ryan, having a fabulous season considering this is his debutant year. Diarmuid Murtagh, man inside was Owen Ward, should probably have been delivered before now. Diarmuid Murtagh has enough problems dealing with Liam Silk. Here's an opportunity, it's that man Heneghan again, stopped in the goal line by the centre half forward, Cillian McDade. And away comes Kieran Molloy. Great pressure. Enda Smith putting in the hard work and the graft. Over for Cain Darcy. Dylan McHugh. And Galway come forward. Shane Walsh. Opportunity coming for Galway. Roscommon look a little bit exposed, but they're there in numbers. Finian O'Leary getting on that movement, and Roscommon go counter-attacking. Darragh tripped. His speed is causing problems. Ronan Daly. Over to Senan Lambe. Good ball inside for Dylan Ruane. Dylan McHugh, the two Dylans battling it out in that sequence. And Roscommon recycle it. Going for a two-pointer. Has it the legs, has it the accuracy? It has everything. What a score. Two-pointer from the middle of the pitch. Conroy from Porrick Pierce's down the road near Ballinasloe. Wonderful score.
Yeah, backed himself to health. Roscommon still intent on running it. They've ran 2 or 3 attacks there, but that time, because they'd ran it in deep, when they recycled it out, there was loads of space just in around the 45. And Conor ran. He certainly can hit the long rangers, as he showed there, and there's the main man in now. Whether that's earlier than planned for Park Joyce, he's in.
Damien Comer has arrived. 3 Connacht Championship medals, All-Star back in 2022 when he won his first. Kick out from Conor Flaherty. Punch forward. Roscommon. Gathered by Dylan Ruane. Referee blows the whistle.
Yeah, Roscommon have forced those first 2 Galway kickouts long and won both of them. Now they're settling this down. It's as if they're going to try and strike it from here, yeah. And Sean Herson's marking it. So Dermot Murtagh scored 1 from this range in their last match against Mayo.
Dermot Murtagh scored 4 points in the first half. Primary teacher, Ballymun in Dublin, from the Lanesborough Valley League area on the River Shannon. 31 years of age. He's dropping in. Conor Flaherty easily dealing with it. 2 frees now that Dermot, knowing him, he'll be disappointed. One in the first half and that one there. Wind assistant. Kieran Molloy. Not a great pass. John Marr had to recover. Well anticipated and intercepted by Enda Smith. Little 1-2 here again with Senan Lambe. That's the plan. Enda Smith on his shoulder. And Senan Lambe still going forward. Trying to look to see who's available. Plenty of support in the middle. Over this side is Darragh Heneghan. Scored a goal and a point in the first half. Floats this in. Is it on target? Is it what? The sides are level for the very first time. On the 42nd minute of the match, Heneghan is a star in the making. He is a star today.
Yeah, he's having a massive game. Like, it's remarkable. You're talking about Roscommon, Enda Smith, Dermot Murtagh, obviously, and yet it's not those 2 players that have been the main feature. In fact, there's 2-3 other Roscommon players who have been stunning. Darragh Heneghan, very much one of them.
I'm thinking of Darragh Heneghan's grandmother, Kathleen, who was originally from Roscommon, and indeed her sons, Darragh's uncles, Tommy Guilfoyle, Mike Guilfoyle, all played hurling with Fecal and with Clare, so the DNA is really strong. Here's his cousin, Robert Heneghan, trying to get the pass inside. Referee says there's no foul. And Galway come away with it. We are having a sparkling Connacht final.
Yeah, I'd love a replay of that, and it looked as if maybe the hand was pulled just as he tried to fist it.
Killian McDade running into a cul-de-sac from Roscommon. Referee gives the free. It looked like, to me anyway, ended that was a free. Meanwhile, we continue on. We'll have a look at it in a moment. Kieran Molloy. Back outside to Rob Finnerty. Telling Shane Walsh, I'm going to drop it in here. Walsh coming in along the end line, trying to get an angle to shoot and score.
Brilliant play from 2 experienced players. As you say, Finnerty pointed to him. There was a space in behind, directed the backdoor cut. Shane Walsh knew how to do it. This is the incident here. Robert Heneghan coming right in, and just as he went to pass it, there was a wee pull on the arm.
Here comes a chance. Darragh Heneghan going for his second goal, and he tucks it away. Magic in Dr. Hyde Park. A young man from Michael Glavies from around Clonfad has arrived on the biggest scene of all, Connacht Football Final 2026. Scored a goal against New York, 1 goal and 3 against Mayo, 2-2 against Galway in the Connacht Final. Remember the name, It's Darragh Heneghan.
How cool of a finish. We were watching the replay of the last incident, and there Enda Smith won the kick out, fisted it through, and the main man, we've been talking about him a lot so far. What a cool finish, give the goalkeeper the eyes.
Well won by Eoin Ward, giving it over towards Enda Smith. Available if he needs him as Diarmuid Murtagh to his immediate right. Still Enda Smith going for a two-pointer. This one is going to tail to the left and wide.
But like,
fourth wide of the match for Roscommon.
There's the goal there, so massive kick out with the wind. Look where it's landing. Enda Smith up, done really, really well. Fist pass straight away. They had gambled in, came in, and just as cool a finish as you like. But it's, again, Roscommon, I was wondering, would they continue to back themselves and keep us direct in the second half? Very much so at the start. Like in the first half, Galway routinely were looking around those long range shots. It was mostly all points from distance. They were staying out round, trying to create the chances several times already, and we're only 10 minutes into the half. Roscommon have been bearing down on the Galway goal.
Darragh Cregg introduced. Roscommon fighting for everything now. They're on a roll here. Ruane. Diarmuid Murtagh's gone inside. Still Ruane pushing away Ken Darcy under pressure, takes a shot, and there is a deflection. The umpire immediately signalled a 45. Worrying times for Pádraig Joyce and his management team.
Yeah, deep discussions there, and it's the legs, it's the Roscommon legs. They have so many players out there. Roscommon have a youthful energy about them, and it's not the Enda Smith and it's not the Diarmuid Murtagh, it's the Dylan Ruane, it's the Senan Lambe, it's the Darragh Heneghan, it's the Robert Heneghan, it's the Colm Neary, it's the young legs that are hurting this Galway side at the minute.
Coming up to take this is Conor Carroll. Was sub-goalkeeper for the Galway Miners back in 2018. They got to the All-Ireland final. Sub-keeper again for Galway in 2019 when Pádraig Joyce was manager. And in 2021 he was the Roscommon under-20 keeper that lost to Offaly in the All-Ireland final. Both of his parents coming from Roscommon. He's a huge addition. This time, however, he sends it wide.
Lots of pressure on the Flaherty kick out here. 5 kickouts, 5 long, 5 lost. They have to change that. Roscommon got their massive second quarter in the first half, as I said already, by getting away those shorts.
Conor Flaherty looking at the options, and from our camera angle you can see the Roscommon are pushing up on the Galway defenders, so he has no option but to go long. And look at the breeze catching it. Well caught, however, by John Maher. Kieran Molloy looking to see who's on his immediate shoulders. Killian McDade slipping one along the surface. Finnerty giving it back outside towards Paul Conroy. To John Maher, the midfield combination, losing the possession. Roscommon are back there in numbers, doing the hard work, punching the ball away. Look where Enda Smith is. And away comes Patrick Gavin. Long ball down towards Darragh Heneghan. Trying to stay with him is Johnny McGrath from Carla Strand. Still Heneghan. Nobody down the stand side. She'll have to play it tight. Back press Caelim Keogh. Dylan Ruane in his 7th championship season. Giving it back again. They'll control matters here. Enda Smith. Roscommon happy to come down this wing now. The reinforcements have arrived. Conor Ryan giving a ball away. Almost. Opportunity for Roscommon. They retain the possession just about. 2-pointer. Great block down. Brilliant block down. Little touch. Needed. And free. Paul Conroy was fouled. Correct call. Robert Finnerty looking to see what can he do. Damien Comer is outside him, trying to get away. Here's Comer. We come down the other wing. There's Paul Conroy. Finian O'Lai. Staying with them is Senan Lambe. Back again for his Kieran Molloy. Galway led, remember, at the break by 3 points. Right now, they're down by 2. Killian McDade getting inside to Seán Kelly. Trying to get inside the cover. Here's Seán Kelly. Great save! Conor Carroll. Brilliant. It looked like the back of the net was going to be shaking with Seán Kelly. Now look what's happening. Ruane going long. Down towards Enda Smith. Trying to stay with him. Trying to put it out over the line. Waiting for it. He gets it over the line despite Jacqueline's effort. Quick sideline ball and the referee has blown his whistle.
Roscommon livid. He pulled it back, I think, to allow maybe a substitution to be made. But again, Killian McDade played in. Seán Kelly, really lovely. I thought it was Conor Carroll. It was actually
Ronan Daly.
Ronan Daly got
the
boot
centre half
to it.
back. If Ronan Daly ever decides to go in goals, he'll make a great goalkeeper following that save anyway, because he was there to assist his keeper, John Marr. Killian McDade. Conor Ryan staying with him. Damien Comer cutting inside. That's a very good score. Wonderful footballer.
In a wee way, they needed it. Their last 2 attacks had came to nothing. Great defending by Roscommon on both occasions. But again, Galway have experience. And putting on fresh legs now. Big question, can Roscommon keep their phenomenal pace? Can they keep their phenomenal running game going for the entirety with a full other 20 minutes here?
Heneghan and John Daly coming on. Heneghan can play up front. Paul Conroy and Kieran Molloy are the 2 players going off. Gives you an indication of the concern that Pádraig Joyce and his management team have to bring on a double substitution.
Yeah, just trying to shore things up. We've seen them in deep discussion only a wee second ago, but fine substitution to bring in for Roscommon too. St Bridget's man, Rory Fallon.
Player that's going off is right half back. That's Owen Ward. But Rory Fallon, we saw him in the club championship campaign. We will never forget that equalising point in the All-Ireland Club final against Danganikush that forced it to extra time. That's the man, Rory Fallon. Ball is punched down. Roscommon have the situation for the moment under control, and here indeed is Rory Fallon for his full forward Colm Neary. Goes off John Daly. That's going to be a sideline ball for Roscommon. In his 14th championship season, in his 52nd championship appearance, that is Enda Smith. Not bad for a man. When he started his intercounty career, he was dropped by the under-21s, and a week later he was on the senior team at Roscommon, and he's been there ever since. Free. He's given to Galway.
Better from Galway, few wee challenges. They're starting to get Roscommon stopped.
Comes far as Killian McDade. He's fouled, and that's going to be a free for Galway. McDade has given absolutely everything to the cause here. Clearly tripped, but his running at the Roscommon defence is certainly asking questions and posing problems.
Again, you just get that sense of a really experienced team that have been there so many times before, obviously going for their 5th title. And then that natural nervousness and youthfulness that Roscommon bring. Can they get over the line? Can they hold themselves together coming down the stretch?
Shane Walsh has already scored 6 points in this match, including 2 2-pointers and a 45 in the first half. Taking his time on the edge of the 40-metre arc. Delicately placed. One point between the teams. Against the wind. Heading down towards the town of Roscommon. Shane Walsh. sends that over the crossbar for a 2-pointer.
That's a serious kick into the wind.
Short kick out works out okay on this occasion for Eoin McCormack.
Roscommon doing really well in their kickouts, 5 from 5 so far this half.
Caelim Keogh. Ruane. Keogh comes to lend assistance. Backfires into Smith again. Ronan Daly. Happy to spread it over first. Keep Doyle. Rory Fallon gets a touch. Little 1-2 with Enda Smith. Pathway to goal is blocked. And as he was taking the shot, there was a push in the back. And that is a soft free to give away. But it is a foul.
Yeah, really nicely played by Roscommon. Again, Galway being fully aware of the 2-point threat, particularly somebody like Enda Smith. They're going to load that arc. They're going to try and push out. That leaves the gaps in behind. And once again, Darragh Heneghan was smart enough to be making the run in, won the free.
This to level the match for the second time. Mission accomplished. Darragh Cregg. 22 points each, or 313 to 119. And thankfully, we have about 16 minutes to go.
That's perfectly placed for a big finish.
Kick out going to be taken by Conor Flaherty. Again, the strength of the wind indicated, or the way the ball held up, but picked up on this occasion by Kenny McDade. Finnery O'Leary. God, look at John Marr, number 9, going forward right beside him. Switching it over to this side, opportunity coming. Roscommon look a little bit exposed, but the effort is blocked. And the referee has blown his whistle.
Yeah, it was on an advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Heneghan knew it was an advantage when he went for goal there, but it was brought back. Killing McDade had done so well in the middle. So watch that replay. Probably that first push was what it was for.
Yellow card for Senan Lambe. Killian McDade. Dylan McHugh. John Marr. Damien Comer. Molloy has played well since introduced. Heneghan comes down the left wing. Shane Walsh is available. He was his intended target anyway. Walsh cutting inside. Damien Comer. They are the dynamic duo for Galway. When the two boys are on the field, anything is possible. Again, John Marr. Ball almost given away. Damien Comer sees the gap, opens out and taken down as he was going through. And the referee will have to take action here. And Patrick Gavin could be in trouble.
Clumsy a tackle, as you'll see. He just crashed into Damien Comer. Patrick Gavin, like there was very little there. Swing of the arm, but complete crash through the man. Comer immediately held his leg, and given everything he's been through, you would just hope that he's okay. But certainly Sean Hurston has a decision to make, and you'd imagine at the very least a yellow. Galway have certainly turned the tide a wee bit the last 5 minutes, Marty.
Yeah, I agree.
The wind is a wee bit out of Roscommon's sail now. Again, you get waves of momentum in these games, so it might turn again. But certainly Galway have settled themselves since that double substitution too.
Yeah, I was just going to say that actually, because I feel that the bench has worked well for Galway. Finnery O'Leary has done well. Damien Comer has done well.
Heneghan as well. Good to see him back on his feet.
Yellow card for Patrick Gavin. And he can be considered a little bit lucky, to say the least. There's not more.
Probably there was an attempt to tackle. It wasn't a blatant trip. While it looked like a trip, it wasn't a blatant trip. There was an action of a tackle there, so it wasn't a black card, and it would have been a very, very hard sending off. So I think yellow's fair, although it wasn't pretty.
No. Shane Walsh. He curled it beautifully. I wasn't too sure where it was going ultimately, but he knew what he was doing. The 9th point today for the full forward. Galway have shown the character and the experience. I know Enda has said it a couple of times, but it is evident.
Yeah, it's just, as I say repeatedly, it is just perfectly set up. You've got that real test for a young up-and-coming team against that seasoned team going for their 5th that has seen it all before, have had their bad patches in games, and knows that they turn if they stick to the basics and get back themselves to get going.
Kick out going to be taken by Conor Carroll. It's a fine kick out, wind assisted. Little flick was all that was needed, but it was well picked up by Dylan McHugh. Far as Liam Silk, John Marr, Cian Darcy, Finnerty Lie, back again for us John Marr, whose work rate is quite phenomenal. Damien Comer dropping this in and sending it over the bar. Galway have shown their vast experience, and players like John Marr, Damien Comer, Shane Walsh, the bench has played a huge role, and he knows it. He judged it perfectly.
Yeah, really well done. Galway, you can just imagine them. They're just down in the trenches now. They're just fighting for every ball.
Kick out from Conor Carroll, gathered by his fullback Caelim Keogh. Darragh, Dylan Ruane. They find themselves with 13 minutes to go, trailing by 2 points. Senan Lambe. Roscommon work the ball back out again. Darragh Cregg involved. Over towards Keith Doyle. Paul Carey. Colin Neary. Coming around. Neary has done really well. He just lost it at the very end, and the ball is wide. He did so well. The approach was perfect. But if he was a pilot in an aircraft, he just got the landing just a little bit off.
Oh, just that solo, just at the critical time. But again, Dylan McHugh is back there. He had burnt John Maher for speed. He went at it, being brave. But again, great coverage. Dylan McHugh, Killian McDade in there.
6 wides for Roscommon in this Connacht final. 12 minutes to go. Liam Silk did really well. Jack Lynn. Over to Sean Kelly. Killian McDade. Sean Kelly was looking for the return pass. McDade goes over towards Dylan McHugh. John Marr. Look at Sean Kelly. Started the move. Gets inside the cover. He's going for it. Oh, it took the paint off the crossbar. It's his 2nd point of the match. But Kelly started the move and finished it. And it could have been more spectacular.
Yeah, Walsh, Kelly, Comer, them's your Galway scores this last while. And again, Roscommon must be wondering at this stage. They'll know that they've played so well for so much of this game, and yet here they are. Somehow they're actually still 3 points down, 10 minutes to go. They'll be wondering what they have to do to try and break this Galway side.
Good kick out by Conor Carroll. Over to Senan Lambe. Into Smith, battling with John Daly. Play on, says the referee. I think it was one of them, 2 of them, but I think it was his attitude. Back for his own McCormack.
Really important, Roscommon just try to get the next score here, get themselves settled, start turning it back in their favour again.
Senan Lambe to keep Doyle. Darragh Heneghan willing again to run at the Galway defence. McDade over-carrying on this occasion. Momentum swinging towards the tribesmen.
Yeah. Both men down injured after that there. Darragh Heneghan again. He started to burst there. McDade done great work, timed the tackle well. On the 4th, 5th step he came in and he needed the 2-3 more to get past, but both players have stayed down following that. McDade definitely was grabbing the leg, the hamstring area of the leg.
Seán Kelly just scored a point down at the other end, back doing his primary job at fullback and coming in with a hefty shoulder. So a little bit of concern on the Roscommon bench about Darragh Heneghan. Mark Dowd, first year in charge, Strokestown man, but living in Kilbride, and has played a huge part in Roscommon underage over the years. In fact, back in 2012 he managed Ballaghaderreen to win the Mayo Championship. They lost to St. Bridget's in the Connacht final. Torrick Joyce lending advice as Galway may well be requiring another substitution, and that decision will be made in a moment as Killian McDade still looks a little bit dazed. This is Shane McGrath from Dunmore McHale's that's coming on. He's had a very good season as well, both in the league and in the championship. Scored a point against Leitrim in the Connacht semi-final. And he will be a loss, Killian McDade. I know there's 10 minutes to go, but he has really been working hard, like John Maher.
He's been massive. He done so well one time in the middle there. He won a ball, looked as if Roscommon had put 4 or 5 men round, looked guaranteed for a turnover, managed to get the fist pass away. Galway got a score. He's been immense for them now in this second half.
Conor Flaherty going to take the fray. Kind of going nowhere really, but it works out for Galway. John Maher as they go into the attack. Comer heading towards goal. Opportunity coming. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. When you're one class, you look towards Anna Down and you look towards Damien Comer.
Unbelievable. You rewind the clock 10 minutes and it all felt Roscommon. It was only seemed one-way traffic, and yet Galway started to dig in, started to grind, started to get the scores. Key men again and again with Walsh, with McDade, with Comer. The boys are back in town.
Said it earlier, when you have Shane Walsh and Damien Comer between the white lines, anything is possible. Now, Roscommon, this is a serious test. They have played well, performed well, but Roscommon find themselves under serious threat from a Galway side that is sprinkled with experience and talent. Now, 6 points down with 9 minutes to go or thereabouts. Diarmuid Murtagh. Darragh Cregg getting it back on this occasion for us. Dylan Ruane going for the score, and that looks to be spot on. 2 points. Great score, and Roscommon definitely needed. He knew what he was doing and he had the confidence to have a goal.
Yeah, phenomenal effort just as the rain is coming down. Another superb player with great legs, and again you would say that the legs, that pace that Roscommon electrified this game with for so long, has certainly been absent to the last 10-12 minutes. There's a man with plenty of it in the bag too, Conor Hahn.
One of the best footballers in the club championship campaign is Conor Hahn from St. Bridget's. He's now on. Sprinkling of rain now, making it difficult for the players. Sideline ball goes to Galway. 7.5 minutes before the hooter will sound. 4 points between the teams. John Daly looking at various options for Galway. Going to go long, up towards Shane Walsh and company. Knocked down for Roscommon. Caelim Keogh. Not a great ball from Keogh. And great anticipation by Liam Silk. Finian O'Lie. Liam Silk on inside. Dylan McHugh is there. Well anticipated and well picked up. Roscommon giving it over for his Darragh Heneghan. Heneghan at midfield, laying it off for his Dylan Ruane. Ruane will go down the wing, going for another two-pointer, and this is gone to the right and wide, but the umpire has his hand up, going to indicate a 45-metre free. 7 minutes or thereabouts to go. The tension is palpable around Dr. Hyde.
Yeah, again, such a difference from Roscommon earlier in the game. They had a clear turnover there. They had men, and they felt like additional men in space where they really put down the pedal, and yet they never really, they sort of crossed it over. They never really got a huge pace, and then they just launched it from distance, where earlier in the game they would have been just running an opportunity like that at top pace. So maybe that energy that they give it for those first 40-45 minutes has started to catch up on them.
Conor Carroll going to take this. Scored two-pointer against New York and the Bronx in the opening round of the championship. He is wind assisted. It's a swirling breeze. Steps back, and that is gone straight over the bar. 3 points between the teams. 3:16 Roscommon, 2:22 Galway, 25-28. 6 minutes and about 20 seconds to go. And there is nobody leaving Dr. Hyde Park. Roscommon making further changes. Senan is coming on. Another one of the St. Bridget's players. Conor Flaherty looking around at options. Roscommon push forward. He goes long. Breaking ball picked up on this occasion by Conor Hand. Spreading it over wide, over towards Senan Lambe. Darragh Cregg into Smith. I don't know what kind of a pass that was, but it worked out all right. Here comes the chance, and that is sent left and wide.
It's definitely a let off there for Galway. 2 players down here, so you were quite right. I'm not sure what sort of a pass that was, but again, Darragh Cregg, such a critical time, a man who's been in such phenomenal form all season.
Deep concern in both managements, as Enda Smith is down, and so too looks like Johnny McGrath. We'll confirm that in a moment. 64-24 is what we're being told is the clock stopping. But the 64-34 is on our screen. There's still 3 points between the teams. Yeah, just the clock is now coinciding with what we have here. So 64-24 is the correct time. 3 points between the teams. Johnny McGrath was the player that was injured from Carroll Strand. Great footballer. Tigerish cornerback. Conor Flaherty. Going again for distance. Breaking ball, who has it? John Maher. Now, does that surprise me? Clock has been stopped again for an injury on the Roscommon player. Medical team coming in to make sure that that player is okay and able to continue on. Seemed to be a high injury around his neck there, so that will be of concern.
Yeah, he's definitely holding his neck. Significant discomfort. These wee sort of stoppages, Roscommon had got 2 in the bounce there. and you're sort of thinking if they're going to come, they're going to need that sort of wave of momentum, and yet these wee stoppages stop that to get in the way of that. Just as we see him getting checked out the last 2 kickouts, and you always start to see sort of critical coaching points whenever a team is under maximum pressure. Galway know the importance of the last 2. Here he is, here coming in. Oh yeah, Cian Darcy just landed on him.
Yeah, on Darragh Heneghan. And I think he's okay. That they're going to be a substitution anyway, as Roscommon make a change. This is Cian McHugh from Doyle. He has 6 minutes to shine. Free going to be taken by John Daly. Montbellew, Moylock. Conor Flaherty come out to take it. Now he's been told to go back into his goals. John Daly going long. Roscommon have the ball. Caelim Keogh. McHugh laying it off towards the centre half back, Ronan Daly. 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes to go. Ronan Daly back into the centre towards Shane Canal. Senan Lambe. Conor Hand. Roscommon looking for that gap. Senan Lambe laying it off. Over towards Paul Carey. Enda Smith. Leadership required. Hand. Difficult angle. Need to bring it into a more central position. Senan Lambe. Heading towards the corner flag. Back outside again. 4 minutes to go. 3 points between the teams. Darragh Cregg. Going. It's over. Darragh Cregg might have missed earlier, but my word, he's made up for it now. A 2-pointer. Wonderful build-up by Roscommon, but a fabulous effort by Darragh Cregg. 1 point between the teams.
Absolutely, Marty. What a score by that man. He had missed the previous one, and you could see Roscommon hadn't much in the terms of pace or ideas, but with finishing power like that.
And Roscommon have the kick out as well, the possession. Under severe pressure. McHugh, referee gives the free. There's a high five between the Roscommon players. They've got their mojo back.
And that's brought right up for a potential 2-pointer. You'd imagine Murtagh will have a real good look at this one. Galway, the last 3 kickouts, and they've all been really important. A team like that knows the really important ones. They've all went to the same routine as Spain down the middle, and then they've broken right to this side. They haven't done well out of them. Roscommon won that one, and it could cost them dearly. Diarmuid Murtagh.
7 minutes since Galway scored. Diarmuid Murtagh, 67 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. 31-year-old from St. Folia's. Takes the shot. Hits the target. The Rossies are rejoicing, but there is still time. The emotion that's around Dr. Hard Park is palpable. You can feel it in the air. Look at the crowd. Packed, sold out since Friday.
The boys were saying at half time they hoped for another great half, and they hoped it would come down to the wire. Well, tick.
Kick out from Conor Flaherty, goes straight out over the sideline. Despite John Maher's best efforts. Shane Canal, St. Bridget's man. Little combination as they come forward into Smith. Little hands, chance, here's Murtagh. They're gone wild in Roscommon. They'll be dancing at the crossroads. It's not Wexford, it's Roscommon. The Rossies are on the verge of history with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go.
Brilliant.
They now lead by 2.
Brilliant hands by Roscommon there. They've had their Galway kick out in all sorts of difficulty in the second half.
And they get the kick out again. Enda Smith, 31 years of age. And Roscommon about to win the Connacht Championship. Over towards Cian McHugh. takes the physical out over the sideline thanks to the hard work of Seán Kelly. Has to give the ball back. Galway fans in front of us here saying he didn't hand the ball back, but he did. Ball comes back as Heneghan. 40 seconds to go. 2 points now required by Galway. They're on their feet in Dr. Hyde Park. Back out first, John Maher. 69 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. 30 seconds to go. Shane Walsh, right man, right place. Can he get a 2-pointer? He's going for it. It's dropping in. It's dropping to the right and wide. Shane Walsh is heartbroken. I can hardly see the pitch in front of the commentary position because they're all standing up. Incredible scenes. It mightn't be the All-Ireland. It is the Connacht title. And they love it in Roscommon. Are they about to make history? They've won the minor. They've won the under-20. They've won the senior. Roscommon have done a clean sweep for the first time in their history. Incredible scenes. A local man, Mark Dowd, bringing the Rossies to the ultimate glory. Tears of joy, hugging, kissing, everything is going on. They're all in love in Roscommon. Look at the scenes of joy. This is what the provincial championship is about. And Roscommon have incredibly won everything in the province for the first time in their history. The minor, under-20, senior, all go to the Rossies in 2026.
Just absolutely phenomenal performance by them. It showed everything. It showed everything that they have as their A game. That